It's that
Okay.
there's also kind of a system. I think the way it was explained to me is it makes some of the evidence gathering.
Yeah.
I said bad advice.
Bad advice.
Have you noticed how? Have you noticed how clear the air is? Tonight, you turn and watch the lineup of the moon and the.
Okay, it's 9,
Me.
but it's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock and it's time to call the meeting of the Codington County Board of Commissioners to order. And I'm going to ask Commissioner Waterman, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I don't need it, just the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So number 2 on the agenda, call for public comment. Public comment can be submitted in person or by telephone at the following phone numbers: 605-882-6248 or 605-882-6297. And let's all remember to silence our cell phones. And if you need to take a call, please step outside the room. Are there any conflict of interest items on the agenda for any of us commissioners? No, I don't have any. Okay, I would entertain action to approve today's agenda. Motion by Van Duzen. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Schwer. Any comments? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, action to approve the minutes from last week, March 21st.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Johnson, second by Waterman. Any corrections or additions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. No. Okay, that motion carries. Number 6, Emergency Management Director for monthly reports. Enlighten us.
Morning again, Andrew.
Morning.
Well, coordinated to host several different training events over the last month. So March 7th through 10th, we hosted the ICS 300 and 400 class. I think we had about 12 participants in that one. We did a floodplain management training on March 14th and a planning P workshop on March 21st. We also had our LEPC meeting on the 14th. One of the bigger things over the last month is Homeland Security. So Region 2 of South Dakota OEM Region 2, I guess, was allocated approximately $443,000 in funds and Homeland Security grant monies, and there were over $866,000 in requests. Steve Rehorst from the PD and I went and we kind of represented the projects that we had from within Codington County. Entities within our county, it appears are going to receive approximately $82,850 in grant money from the Homeland Security grant this year.
What's that number again, Andrew? 800.
$82,850.60.
Okay.
Those are preliminary numbers, and there can be some adjustment here and there. But it appears that that's where we're at now. We've also been, kind of keeping an eye on the snowpack. I mean, there's more snowpack up north, and we're keeping an eye on some of the flood projections and so forth, and keeping the proper people notified of that. So
what does that mean exactly, Andrew? I know city and county officials have met to talk about planning. That is a big deal. As you know, if we get, heavy rain, we could be in trouble. So
absolutely.
I mean, according to the Weather Service, it looks like there's a moderate chance for flooding on the Big Sioux.
Yeah, it sounds like moderate flooding is expected this year. So what we did is we have a command structure in place, and we've identified a couple public information officers. So most of the information will flow through them, and that's Troy and Steve. Commissioner Van Dusen, excuse me.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. No.
And Steve Rehorst, Captain Rehorst with the police department are the two PIOs for that. So information will flow through those two with any questions related to that. And that's just to ensure that, everybody has a role to play. So it's just ensuring that everybody can focus on, what their part is.
So, and we put out a press release early this morning, just basically updating the community and the region about what steps are being taken so far. I know the city has some pumps and stuff that they're planning on putting in place, and it's all precautionary at this time, but I do want people to know that those talks are underway, and just to err on the side of caution, because we don't want to get caught with our proverbial pants down, if we get a heavy rain. I think better to plan to succeed than to plan for failure.
Yeah, I think that the way people can think about this is, if you try to figure out the points at which you might need to make decisions, and then what steps you can take if a certain thing happens, and nothing's perfect, but, say whether it's the city, deciding to rent the pumps and put them out, or sandbag, or whatever the thing is, you identify that. So that's going on. So that's good.
And there are sandbags that are available at the sheriff's office, and maybe you're going to talk about that, Brad, too. I don't know, but sand is available, will be available as of the 29th out at Sailboat Landing for people if they choose to fill sandbags in preparation. So take steps early, just in case. So
I guess the final thing, if we're planning for flooding, we're obviously planning for spring to come. As much as it seems like it's not wanting to this year, but tonight at 6 p.m. and then tomorrow at 1 p.m. at the Codington County Extension Center, we're hosting, Kelly Sir from the National Weather Service is teaching a couple weather spotter classes. So we'll have some weather spotter training. And that's open to anybody. So it's really good information to have. And then, just because you attend the class doesn't mean that somebody's going to call you up and tell you to go, spot storms and tell us what you're seeing or anything. So anybody's welcome to come to it. Our weather spotters do attend that course regularly, and a lot of what we do is, I couldn't know what's happening in Henry if it wasn't for, somebody sitting out there and telling me what they're seeing. So, those volunteers that help with the weather spotter training are very much appreciated. Yes, pending any questions, that's all I have for you.
I've had the chance to, I've attended several of the weather spotting, and it's good. I mean, I grew up watching the clouds, out on the tractor and they explain, what's happening when you see a certain type of cloud coming and it's interesting. So I would encourage anyone to attend that, just for personal knowledge.
Absolutely.
I think the last time I was watching the weather, 3 of my evergreens blew over. But I did predict that, so.
It's inevitable. We will get it. Andrew, just a quick question. What is the Weather Service saying as far as moisture in the snowpack north of Watertown?
I mean, it's
No.
depending on where you look, but I think it's between 5 and 8 inches, most places north, but still within Upper Big Sioux watershed.
I mean, is the snow holding a lot of moisture?
I guess I don't know the
Don't
answer
know.
to that question.
7 inches.
Basin, South Carolina. In that 24 plus inches of snowpack, it's 5 to 7 inches of moisture.
Oh, okay. 5 to 7 inches of moisture in the 24 inches. I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Sorry, I didn't understand. Okay.
So we want it to melt slowly.
Slow
Yes.
melt
Yeah,
would be
slow
good.
melt is good.
No rain. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew.
All right, Sheriff.
Morning.
Good
Morning.
morning.
How's it going today?
Good, so far.
So far. All right. You guys want to grab one and pass them on down? Everybody got one there? We'll get started with our monthly balance sheet. That'll be the first page there for the commissary monthly balance sheet. For the month of February 2023, bank balance was $16,061.74. $8,269.26 in the lobby and booking kiosk at that time, for a grand total of $24,331. You can see that there was $2,398.87 in resident balances, $4,173.93 in commissary items and tax that was not dispersed yet, and fund balance of $17,758.20 for a grand total of $24,331. Leaves us back to our $15,000 original investment that we have in there. And you can see we made $1,270.39 in our commissary. That goes back to the general fund last month. Go to the next page there, you'll see the sheriff's office checking account there. Our monthly balance sheet for the bank balance of February of 23, $7,192.34. And if you're scrolling down, you can see we collected $16 in copy fees, $5,986.84 in sheriff's fees, and $300 in warrant fees that were collected for a grand total of $6,302.84. Leaves us back at our $889.50. Jump to the next page there. We'll go over some sheriff's office activity. Lee's got it pulled up on the screen so everybody can see. In February, the sheriff's office responded to 418 cases and calls for service. It was a busy, snowy month. We spent a lot of time out on the interstate and the highways. So a lot of the calls were down, it looks like. Accidents, responded to 6 accident reports that were completed. There was more accident calls that we responded to, but 6 accident reports. 54 warrants were served, 118 civil papers were served, and 1,867 transport miles were run in the month of February. Scroll down to the middle here, you'll see some jail activity. Our average daily population for February was 57.86. Our high ADP was 63 on the 27th. Our low ADP was 53 on the 7th. And you'll jump into some of our 24/7 numbers here. Our scram bracelet users, we had 25 people on the scram bracelet, 7 people on remote breath, 32 people on the twice daily PBTs, 46 people on the twice weekly UAs, and 1 person that was wearing a sweat patch. for a grand total of 111 people on the 24/7 program. And we had 175 bookings for the month of February. You scroll on down a little bit more, Lee, go over some of the financials here. We collected $9,328.35 in out-of-county contracts, $2,180 in work release fees collected, $4,926.24 fees that were collected, and $4,458 in scram fees that were collected. So, any questions on that?
Just watching the average daily population. It's just interesting to watch how it's.
Dipped down a little bit over the weekend down into the higher 40s. This morning we were back to 50 again, but it was 46, 47 the last couple of days here, and then kind of back up to 50.
So that's March, that's talking March now. So,
Yep.
yeah, okay.
I did hear your report on radio. I don't know when that was, sometime yesterday.
Yesterday.
Was it
Yeah.
yesterday?
Yeah.
Anyway, what did you determine? How many out of county inmates were there? 2?
I think there was a couple yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you start looking at
Yeah.
a lot of these here, they're give or take. Lately, it's been about 5 to 7% out of county contracts. Historically, in the past, it was around 10% of our population would have been out of county contracts. And like I say, that number kind of goes up and down. And I think there was just a couple yesterday. So
Good.
Okay.
I guess you guys kind of talked about the flooding a little bit. Like I say, I've been involved with that a little bit as well. Just like as Andrew has. So the city and county, we've been working together on making sure that the key leaders are in place to, in the event of flooding, and we are monitoring river and lake levels and the snowpack and working closely with the National Weather Service and everything. So not to go over that again, but those things are being monitored. Sandbags are available at the sheriff's office detention center. You can come in if the public is interested in any of those. They're more than welcome to come in. After hours, after business hours, you can stop into the detention center and get them, so you can get them 24 hours a day. Emergency management office is supplying the sandbags, so. And they're stand out at
Sandy Shores
Sandy
or
Shore,
Sailboat Landing.
Sailboat Landing, so.
Take the right sand.
Yeah, yeah. Don't take sand off the
So,
beach. Take
exactly.
it from the spot.
But we are monitoring that, so. Yes, that's, and we're enforcing the load limits. Rick put the county load limits on, so we're out enforcing those now. Roads are starting to get a little wavy, and so we're making sure that we're paying attention to the load limits that are out there for semis and that are out there, so.
Awesome, great.
Okay, so I think you have the next agenda item.
The next agenda item I do have, you guys should have in your packet there, a copy of the quote. We are looking to purchase body worn cameras, update the body worn cameras that deputies have, and also vehicle cameras for all of the deputies. We currently use.
Are you here for this?
Yeah, Becky's here as well too. So if she wants to, she can come up, otherwise she can be a part of this too.
Yeah.
It affects her office just as much as it does on the old courts and everything.
Just turn that.
Like I say, we currently have an old system, 6 years old. We got it on a grant. We stored everything locally in-house. All the data and all the information is stored on our evidence in-house. That gets to be expensive and costly, having connecting point, being able to work and keep all that up and going. The newest things now lately in the last 4 or 5 years has been cloud storage with all the body cameras. So, and in-car cameras. So you'll see a quote in front of you for 24 body worn cameras and 11 in-car cameras. With this system, they'll be able to upload right from their cars. When they're done with their body worn camera at the end of their shift, they can put it in the cradle. The car camera footage and the in-car camera will upload to the cloud right from their vehicle. Something that a supervisor can live stream into the vehicle and check on the safety of a traffic stop if needed, or something like that. Has that capability is to be able to live stream into the deputy's vehicles and make sure that everything is fine. Body worn cameras have the capability of adding a SIM card in the future to do the same thing with the body worn camera. If it's something that we wanted to do in the future, you can see I was gonna recommend doing the 5-year contract on the back page there, so it'd be $70,000 down payment. And then 4 annual payments of $36,041.50 starting next year. This is something that was budgeted between the sheriff's office, the state's attorney's office, and I also budget with the jail because this would include the jail staff. They'd all have a body worn camera as well. We say when you're having conversations with inmates and mealtime, the salts and everything in there, you'll have a better view and the conversation will be recorded. So that's something that we're kind of excited about on that side of it. They currently do not have body worn cameras in the jail.
So this will include the cameras, vehicle, body, cloud storage, all this, you know, the other hardware, the CPUs and all that stuff that goes with it.
Complete.
Everything that's included with it. The largest expense here when you're looking at this is the $109,000.
Cloud storage.
That's the cloud storage for all these. It's unlimited storage. On the back end of it, there's a program that can use to redact information for the state's attorney's office. Maybe you want to talk about the prosecution side.
Correct. These cameras and the fact that the body worn cameras are just integral in us being able to successfully prosecute cases. We've gotten to where as a society, people want, well, it's got to be on video. I've got to be able to see this and see it for myself. So if we are prosecuting a case, we need to have that camera footage, but we also, there are times that things are not admissible in court. We need the ability to redact those videos. We also, if an interaction that they have with someone is 2 hours long and we only need 30 minutes of it, we need the ability to cut off pieces, but also we need the ability to redact audio on it as well, because sometimes things will be said that we can't use in the courtroom. So this system has that. It also has the ability to, if we've got 2 officers on scene, lay their videos together so that you can get different perspectives of how something happened, which is just very important. The current system that the sheriff's office has doesn't have the ability to do that. And so we need.
And it's going on
It's
6.5 years old.
Yeah.
Lifespan is typically around 5 years on a computer or something like that technology.
So I have a question. So if, how would this affect your case processing? Because I know we talked about this maybe 6 months or so ago, and some of your staff was explaining to me that it's whatever you're doing was cumbersome.
This will streamline from my office, the ability to get sheriff's office video will be much quicker because we will be able to access it. We will be given access to where it gets uploaded. We're going to have our ability to log in and go find that video. So it'll actually make it easier for my staff.
On the sheriff's office side of it, we've been working since last July. We've been testing different companies and different services. We've tested Axon, GTAC, Motorola, and Digital Ally. Those are a few of the big name companies that do this and have a reputation and seem to work good. We've gone and visited sites, checked out their equipment and how it works for them. We contacted a lot of different people. Guardian fleet here with GTAC cameras. The price was actually a little bit cheaper than all the others. And we liked the service and we liked everything that we heard back from everybody when we were doing our backgrounds and checking on everything. Seems to work and have less issues.
So just what we're talking about today is basically $70,000
Today, we're talking about
this year's budget.
$70,000 and then
Budgeting.
entering into a contract with them for
Yeah.
a 5-year contract here. So,
Okay.
and then $36,041.50 here on out. So
Now, I understand it is budgeted,
this is a budgeted
Okay,
item for
is-
this year.
is it-
70,000.
70,000 is budgeted,
Yeah,
not the entire amount.
not the entire amount.
Yeah.
When we were looking at budgeting, we could have done we figured we'd do a little more upfront here. We've all put 25,000 in our budget for this year, not knowing where that number was gonna come in. That's why we put 70,000 down, and then years forward, it'll be a little less expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll make a motion to approve the request.
So we got a motion by Van Dusen. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Schwer. Any other questions?
Glad to hear that you did research on this, Brad. I know that there's a lot of different vendors out there. If this works for you and is able to streamline your services a little bit and make getting those cases a little quicker over to the state's attorney's office for prosecution, that's going to help. I mean, like you said, in today's society, if it's not on video, there's questions about why it wasn't. And
Mhm.
this is definitely a needed asset. And I'm glad you're going down that road. So.
One of the things that I did change, a couple months ago, we got department issued cell phones. We did away with the cell phone stipend. The cost was within $5. So we got it done away with the cell phone stipend, and then I figured using the MiFi for the cars, we were paying $40 a month for that. We're gonna spend the $40 a month per camera for the cars. So that should be a wash on that part of it. So
Okay.
then they can use their department issued cell phone for their MiFi for the car, and then they'll have the.
Where do you go for support?
It's all through GTAC here.
It is.
So, yep, that was something that we looked at hard because we've got a lot of issues with our current company here, trying to get things operational. If there's an issue, it takes a long time. That is something that we were really heavy on when we were doing our checks and reference checks with everybody, and they are really good to work with. Timing of getting equipment was another factor. These guys have their equipment ready and available, where some companies are a year out. So.
I just have one more question, Mr. Chair, if I can.
Please.
Becky, as you know, the city uses Axon
Yes.
body cameras. So is this going to present any problems between the two systems?
We
Okay.
access Axon on our own. The police department has their own system. They share all their video into my separate Axon system. I'm just gonna end up with
A different
a
system?
different system.
Okay.
So the city will have one in mine and another, so no
Okay.
different.
All right.
So
problems.
when you consider that, I mean, what we can do to speed up, the ability to put the cases together and things, I mean, given your caseload, I think it's, I think that's kind of what you were talking about,
Yep.
Commissioner Van Duzen.
Yeah.
So, this is, it's a good thing. And
Well,
so can you give me the breakdown between your two budgets again? I know you did that.
25,000 sheriff's budget, 25,000 detention center budget, 25,000 right now. in,
All right.
Yep, just
state's attorney's budget.
thirds.
Thanks.
So,
one more thing, if I can just add, if anybody's questioning this, you have to look at it in terms of, this is an insurance policy that the county is also purchasing. It's not just for prosecution, but it's also an insurance policy. One lawsuit claiming, damages or something like that
complaints
could
about
take care of
deputies.
that.
When I first got
Yes.
the first camera system, I almost went to zero.
Yeah.
So let's go back and watch the camera together. And once you do that once or twice, it eliminates everything. So.
Yeah.
And I do see it as a big advantage that now the jailers will have them as well.
Yes.
That's an area that it's needed, and it's gonna assist a lot in the sheriff's office.
May
and
cut down
jail.
on our level of assaults on
Yep.
staff and everything. So good.
Great. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, you're not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, that motion carries. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
And item number 8, discussion and possible action to approve a sound system quote for the second floor courtroom. Another quote to talk about.
This one's a lot cheaper.
Yeah,
That's a lot cheaper.
But it's not cheap.
No,
No, it's not cheap. What I'm presenting to you is from ABI Systems out of Sioux Falls. I've been working on this last year. We kind of had some outfits come in and give some stuff. One of the things that it did is went to Judge Means and to clerk of courts and kind of more or less presented, what do you want specifically in it? What you need improvements? And this is the list, what they had come up with. And with the grand total of $28,673.42. I don't know if anybody had read, but there was a little note and so they had about the phone system. I did talk to the clerk of courts. They do have their own phone up there because their system is different than the county. They're on their own state system. So
First question I had was, so we talked about where you budgeted earlier today. We talked about a
Yep.
little bit of where, so it's in the government buildings budget is where this is budgeted.
That's where I have it budgeted.
Okay.
And so that, yes.
All right. Any questions for? Sarah?
Availability is soon.
Yeah, as soon as I can get the contract signed and sent.
Does this include the installation and?
Yep, installation, the only thing would be is if they was suggested almost probably, and instead of running the wires on the floor, to drill holes and then go through the ceiling. And so that we would probably have to run a drill, hammer drill through. So I know there's places that we've done that before in here of stuff, so.
You're talking about historical. Be really careful.
I know. Yeah, basically it would go through the flooring.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then between the floor and the ceiling, we want to, we want to have not as much damage as we can.
Okay, yeah, that's good. And the support, so.
Yep.
For follow-up
Yep.
support, because I know there's always things to tweak.
There's always things to
Yeah.
tweak, yes.
Shipping and handling, where does it have to come from?
Don't know. I imagine they're cover the cost of the shipping from where they get their
Yeah,
products from.
Yeah,
So I have a question about this and our responsibility versus UJS. So we are responsible for providing the audio in the courtrooms.
Yes,
yeah.
yep,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question. So, and when we did the courtroom remodel downstairs, I got pretty familiar with it, but basically the stuff that's, part of the system that's fixed in the courtroom, the county pays for. It's just part of providing facilities for court, basically.
Okay.
And that's a
Yep.
county responsibility in law. There are a few IT items that the UJS provides, but not many.
Okay.
We end up doing the bulk of it because most of it's kind of.
Yeah,
built in.
most of their stuff is like the IT, the TVs. So they've got TVs that they provide and
Move to approve.
so.
Motion by Johnson, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Waterman. Okay, any other questions or discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, that motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay. So number 9 is, thanks, Steve. Number 9 is action to approve a cell phone stipend for a new highway employee.
Okay, so there was a new employee hired effective or in the month of March, and the request is to have this effective April 1 for Harold Rounds and the amount of $25 for the cell phone stipend.
Move to approve.
So motion by Van Duzen,
I'll second that.
second by Schwer. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, say no. Okay, that motion carries. Number 10, action to approve claims for payment.
All right, you have in front of you the March salary claims in the amount of $672,322.52.
Is there a motion to approve the salary claims? So the people's
So moved.
motion by Johnson,
Second it.
second by Schwer. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, say no. And that motion carries. Number 11, action to approve automatic budget supplements. And I guess we have a.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is ERA2 grant funds that will go back into the welfare budget in the amount of $3,000.
A motion to approve that.
So moved.
So motion
Second.
by Schwer, second by Johnson. Any other questions or discussion?
Mr. Chair, if I can ask a
Yeah.
question of the auditor, ERA funds, explain what are ERA funds?
Those are the COVID dollars that are still coming in. And this is the
Emergency
admin,
For
yeah,
the.
for the housing.
Housing thing.
This is
Yeah.
the admin part of it. There's a larger amount when you start seeing the rental payments, but this is just for admin.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion, questions? Okay, all in favor, please say aye. We'll say no. Okay, number 11 carries. Number 12, action to approve personnel changes. We got one in there.
Yep, you have one of those. It is for Tristan Coyle. He is full-time correctional officer. He is at step 1, 2386, new hire and effective date 4/1 of 2023.
Move to approve.
Motion by Van Dusen. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Schwer. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, say no. Okay, that motion carries. Next is travel requests.
Yes, there are two of those, and it is for facility manager to go to a couple different meetings, Incident Command System Tabletop Exercise and South Dakota Weed Commission meeting. And the information is in your packet, cost per meals and fuel.
Move to approve.
Motion by Johnson, is there a second? Second by Waterman. Any questions or discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, that motion carries. Okay, number 14, public notices. Possible quorum of commissioners where we might be at between now and the next meeting. I think there is a legislative thing that tonight.
There's a legislative thing up at the lake area tonight.
Yeah.
Also, Codington Park Electric annual meeting, and I know there's at least 3 of us on that. That might affect. Let's see. what-
Myron, when is the date of that? The Codington Clark?
tonight.
Weather program tonight.
Yeah, lots of stuff.
That's then Codington Park is tonight.
Okay,
So you get this kind of, well, it's kind of like a follow-on Cracker Barrel that the chamber's doing it. Believe it's LATC if I'm remembering correctly.
5 to 7.
Anything else? No? Okay.
That's it.
All right, thanks, Myron. Is there any old business? Any new business? And we may have an item after exec to come back to on old business. Okay, any comments?
I would have one. I didn't get it on this week's agenda. It will be on next week's, but I would just like to note the Easter holiday closures per the previously adopted policy. So all county offices and the courthouse will be closed on Good Friday, April 17th, and Easter Monday, or April 7th, I'm sorry, April 7th and Easter Monday, April 10th. Just to make a note, and I will put it on the agenda, and I will send out PSAs to the newspapers and radio stations as well.
Okay, thank you. The park is open? What did you say?
On the part.
Okay. Yeah, please.
It's right in the open.
Okay, it's for the open. Okay, I said, okay, scratch that. Okay. Scratch that, never.
I hope
I was going, what?
It is
No.
spring.
No, well, I'll have to update you on the damage of it at the shop. Last week I had contacted, of course, the insurance adjuster came on Friday. He advised to get somebody in for the water damage and possibly mold for restoration. I did contact yesterday, an outfit out of Hayti called the Roofers and Restoration. They come in and they clean up all the damage, all the water damage, open it up, get air moving in there so it dries out the wood, so for no mold to accumulate. They did start that process yesterday. I need to get a quote from him. The issue I have right now for a quote is his gentleman that does the quotes on that is right now currently on vacation for this week. So as soon as I get that, I'll get this to you and approve. I need to get that also sent to the insurance company also. So just to update you currently right now, the ceiling is pretty well half of it's water damaged. 3 out of the 4 walls, it soaked down into the walls in there. So yeah, it's not looking pretty. So.
All right. Any other questions for Steve? Thanks for the update.
All right, you bet.
Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay. Any other comments from the public or commissioners? Okay, we do have a short need for a short executive session. I mean, it's under number 4, so safety. Safety, security, so.
Action afterwards.
Yeah, oh, yes, yeah, and there probably will be some brief action afterwards.
Okay.
Move to go into executive session.
Well, second motion.
Second by Van Dusen. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'll say no. Okay, we are in executive session. Thank you. Can you just stop the streaming and leave? That would be one less thing to.
Oh, yeah, they may have the action today.
It's